People don't often think in terms of grizzly bear culture or the traditional values that they have or their emotional intelligence. I think it's important that we reflect on that and spend some time understanding just how much there is to these animals. One of the lessons that I think grizzly bears have brought to my life is the spirit of humility. Our ancestors walked with humility through the forest. That's why we're here today. They were able to survive because they didn't feel they had to control everything. And I feel sometimes we've lost that. It slipped away from our lives and our characteristics. So I believe grizzly bears bring it back for us to revisit that spirit of humility. If we lose our fear and read the true intentions of these animals as they're moving past us, or if we just stand our ground and just know that their intentions are beautiful, I think that is about us being courageous and not believing the myths from the past, but being courageous and standing and letting them be bears and allowing for that relationship to be pure and fearless and courageous on both of us, not just humans, but actually grizzlies as well. Grizzly bears have taught me to trust them, and they are trusting us. So trust is a big lesson, I think, with bears. They are born naturally comfortable with people, and their intentions are about coexistence, really. So all our sense of grizzlies is about not trusting them, to the point where even rehabilitation of orphaned grizzlies took a lot to have the government make it at least a pilot project. And it's primarily because they didn't trust grizzly bears. Black bears they had more trust in. So there's been so much fear around grizzlies that we humans don't trust them. And I think we need to learn to trust them. Bears are also teachers of respect. They teach us to respect other beings. And even though we've been taught to fear, they can turn that fear into more respect if you listen and if you pay attention to their world and their lives. If you had a camera on the front of a bear's chest, you would see how often they've stopped and waited for people to pass by and politely allowed them to continue on and not even know that they were there, but they're just waiting, and they're so polite and so much respect that they've given us, and we need to reciprocate that back and try and understand them from a fearless perspective, because fear can kind of skew the reality of their nature. What you are in the moment a bear is in front of you is really a truthful reflection of your character. So another big lesson grizzly bears have brought into my world is the spirit of reflection, and to be able to reflect with brutal honesty, who are we and how do we treat others, whether bears, black bears, wolves, or other humans. When a bear is fishing on the river and we're watching, what are we thinking? How are we seeing this bear? If we're fearful of it, doesn't matter what the bear does, it's going to be considered a threat. If we're comfortable, then we're going to be able to enjoy that moment that we're actually sharing space together. So it teaches a lot about who we are at the time that we're around these animals. We don't need to dominate, conquer, manage nature, but instead, in awe, we live with nature around us, and we live within nature. And everything in nature is completely perfect, and it's about humans fitting into that. And a dear friend of mine always said that, who loved the grizzly bear, Charlie Russell, and he always spoke about the spirit of fitting in with nature. I know of no animal that is more in tune with the intention of others. I've had many encounters with bears that have shown me that they know why you're there. Always recognizing the intention behind the individual that comes into their presence. Even if it's the intention of a wolf or the intention of another bear or the intention of humans, they recognize it beyond anything I've ever seen. There is no animal more honest than a bear, and they're very truthful, very honest. Despite what you hear on the news sometimes, which bears sneak around, break in and steal, that's not what they're doing. Bears, if anything, they probably have gratitude for the fish that they got out of the tub out there, or gratitude for the snack they got. I mean, obviously that's not something we're encouraging, but if you're looking at it from the perspective of the bear, they're very honest, and they're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's head, they're just eating. So they're very pure in their intentions and very honest, and these are lessons for us. Yeah, we can be pretty layered, pretty complex. They can too, but trust me, they're more capable of being grounded and being truthfully honest, and we can learn that. We don't have to be complicated, we can stay simple. So often what we see in our community is bears that are hanging in the community. One of the things that they do often get taught by their mothers is to be close to people. They would find that to be a safer place, and Mom teaches them that. It makes sense when, say, a big old male is in the area. And I, as a guide as well, and other guides can attest to this, have had bears kind of almost like drop off their kids and go and fish for a while and come back and pick up their kids. And it's from a distance, but you know that the cubs stay there, and Mom goes away for a little while and then comes back and retrieves them and carries on. But she's trusting people, and they teach their cubs that people are trustworthy. Bears, in my experience, have never shown to hold our fear against us. They're not like that. They're very empathetic, actually, has been my experience. So they don't have that strong, dominant, oh, she's fearful, take advantage of a weak moment. That I just have never experienced with bears. This man and his wife and a little baby in the backpack, I took them out, and as we're walking, we heard a crack, and a ways off, this bear was standing there watching. Then the little baby in the backpack goes, "Dad, dad, dad, mom, 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 dad, 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 mom, mom, mom." And it was like super loud. And this bear's like, looks up and then relaxes. And then you almost saw her do this, and there was two little cubs trailing along behind her. And so it was almost like she was empathetic to this family and our experience. And it was really a beautiful moment. And I've had that happen with mom bears with little ones before, and you just felt this kind of unity with them. You know, they like, I have kids too, and it's really lovely. We need to really just feel honored that they have that understanding of having us as a trustworthy presence. And I look forward to the day that we understand that they're not just a food-based animal. They have food, but they need safety, and they also have emotions. So these are all part of just being a bear. That's what they've taught me anyways. So just as a messenger.